Happy 4th of July to all you Bumble Jeepers out there. First of all, let me say thank you to all of those in current service and those of you who have served for your service that have continued to ensure that we as Americans enjoy the freedoms that we do. And my heartfelt thanks and appreciation goes out to each and every one of you. Um, that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July. See a great fireworks show tonight. I'm just going to do a real quick, yeah, right, I know, hey, update here on the channel. This is a taco update. So, as I turn behind me here, you can see this morning when I came in, the cab and the front clip was still up in the air. The frame was in position mostly underneath it. We had to reposition it some. What I ended up doing was dropping weighted strings down from the cab bolts or the cab mounts above, and then we kind of positioned the frame underneath it till everything lined up. We did a couple of false starts, but all in all, it came down pretty easy. I can't even show you now what the problem was we had the first time, but it was the rear cab mounts. They wouldn't separate, so we had to take these. There's two bolts in each cab mount, and there's a gap like this between the bottom of the cab and the top of the frame that you had to get a little wrench in there and turn them out like a skosh of a turn each time. And it took us probably at least an hour to an hour and a half aside to get those unbolted so we could actually lift the cab up and off. Now, what you see here, the hood is just setting on. He did get new headlights for it, and they actually look pretty good. They're nice and clear. The grill and everything's just setting in. The headlights are in. The bumper's just setting on there. We were going for some instant gratification. The owner of the truck was over here this afternoon with me. We started about 1:30, quarter to 2, something like that. It's 4:30 now. So anyhow, I'm going to turn you around here. The bed is bolted on, but it'll probably have to come off again. There was a few things underneath I forgot to hook up. I believe that piece there is part of the evaporative recovery system. And you can see we don't have the rear bumper on or the tailgate or anything. That's all mediocre trivialities, as a friend of mine was wont to say. But the bed is bolted on, but it's only 6 bolts, and I've had this bed off of this truck several times, so it's not a big deal. What I'll do is I'll get everything positioned here on the lift and just pull the bolts and raise it up, and then do what I need to do to get that back in, get the fill tubes and the vents and everything all hooked up, get the fuel pump wire plugged in, and do some of the routing of the wiring in the back here, and then I can drop the bed back on. It's not a big deal. Takes less than 5 minutes to unbolt the bed. It'll probably take me longer to set it up on the lift than it will be to unbolt it and rebolt it when it comes back down. The cab is fully bolted. There is some reassembly that has to be done. I don't know how much you can see in here. It's pretty dark, but I got to put the floor back together where the front cab bolts were, and then I got to get all this put back together. I got to get the brake cables hooked back up, get the console back in, get the shifter boot on, and all of that. So there's probably, I don't know, half an hour to an hour's worth of reassembly here in the cab. Nothing stressful or hard. But Chris, the owner of the truck, is really happy with the progress today. He didn't think it was going to go that fast. And then, of course, I have all the wiring to do underneath, the plumbing for the radiator. I do have a lot of stuff hooked up. While I was underneath, we were trying to get the bolts lined up on the cab. I got the fuel lines reconnected underneath. I got half the brake lines done, which is 1 because there's only 2 that connect the rear brake lines, but the one was giving me a hard time threading in, which is not a big deal. It will get together, I promise. Um, so, anyhow, um, it looks like a lot more progress today than there actually was. I got to bolt the hood on yet. Um, and, manufacturers today, I'm turning back around. Manufacturers today they don't really care. I mean, they save money. They don't put springs on the hinges anymore like they used to. Um, you guys know, if you follow my channel for a while, at one of the upgrades I did on Bumble Jeep, I put gas props on it and the push button releases. Not a lot of security there, but most guys, most people, I won't say most guys, most people are not interested enough in a Jeep that old. And I did find out that my Jeep is actually a 94, not a 95. It's titled as a 95 because it was sold in 95. Uh, if I had to guess, because it's a manual transmission, it was a 94 leftover. And the guy that bought it in 95, got a great deal on it, I'm sure, because it was a leftover. And the reason it was a leftover, the reason I'm pretty sure it was a leftover is because of the manual transmission. Um, Even in 95, you sold more, places sold more automatics than manuals, even in the Jeeps. The one thing I don't understand is Cherokees are largely automatic. It's hard to find a manual Cherokee, but the TJs, the Wranglers, it's hard to find an automatic Wrangler because most of those were stick. So I'm confused, but that's okay. Um, Anyhow, so lots of progress on the taco today. I guess, yeah, overall I'm happy. It's probably about 4:30 now, and I want to get washed up and get the place shut down and get out of here. I got to hit the mixers before I go. And anyhow, um, yeah, it shouldn't be too long. Probably might be firing the taco up on Taco Tuesday. Tuesday tacos. Might fire it up. Um, we'll see. I'm gonna come in tomorrow and work a little bit on it, try and get some of the wiring buttoned up on it. I want to get everything buttoned up underneath the bed and get the bed back on permanently, which means I can throw the tailgate on, which doesn't take but a minute or so. Um, there is some brake lines. I need a brake line on I forget which side, but one of the sides when I was disconnecting the brake lines to raise the cab up, one of the fittings was too rusted and it's twisted, and so I need it's a short piece of brake line, so I'll get that sorted out. I don't know if Advance is open tomorrow, but I'll take the one from the side that's good, take it over there and get one about the same length with the same fittings on and bend it up and put it in. Um, yeah, I got to hook up the brake cables, the parking brakes cables yet in the cab. I'm running through my to-do list on that in my head. So the owner was all anxious about because I said something to him earlier. I was joking with him. I said, "Hey, Chris, it's all you now. I'm done with my part. You get to finish it up," and which would include the wiring. And he said, "No." I said, "Well, just so you know, each one of those connections in there will only plug to one other connection, so you can't do anything wrong." Um, I guess you could on the injectors and the coil packs, but the way the harness lays in there, you can really only connect it correctly. You might be able to switch the two center coil packs and the two center injectors, but I don't think so. I think that wiring harness, the way it lays in there, is going to be pretty uh, idiot proof. So, you can't, as an engineer, former mechanical engineer, as much as you like to try and engineer things in such a way that, they're idiot proof, lo and behold, they come along with better idiots. Go figure. So that's all I got for you guys today. Again, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Don't forget to thank our veterans and our active duty servicemen and women. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be enjoying the freedoms that we do enjoy, even though we lose a little freedoms, here and there. That has nothing to do with our servicemen. They're doing their best to serve their country to the best of their abilities, and we should all appreciate it. Um, that's it for today. See you guys in the next one, or you guys will see me in the next one. I won't see you. I can't see you. Why can't I see you? You, stand up. All right, folks. God bless. Take care. Be kind to one another. Have a good day.